Hello and welcome to another edition of The Key Play. We're your hosts. I'm Jacob Jenkins.
And I'm Kylie Cooper.
Today's guest is Carter Hill. Carter graduated from Virginia Tech with a sports media and analytics degree and now works for Tech Sideline. Carter, thanks for coming on the show.
Yeah, appreciate you having me on.
Yeah, feeling good today?
Yeah, I am feeling good today. It's finally the fall weather is finally here.
Oh,
and
it's nice.
60 degrees outside. The leaves are falling. I love it.
Yeah.
Great time in Blacksburg, Virginia.
Fantastic. And of course, we've always got football news with us.
For those who are unaware, can you explain what the new athletics budget will do?
Yeah, so Virginia Tech Athletics recently approved an athletic budget to be increased to $229 million. That would put Virginia Tech at the number 3 spot in the ACC. Previously, before this plan was approved, the Hokies' athletic budget was around $144 million, which was 14th in the league. That was the lowest amongst ACC public schools. So now all of a sudden, with this budget increase, you're going to be 3rd in the league. The only 2 teams and the 2 schools really that are above Virginia Tech, Florida State and Clemson, those are the 2 schools that have most recently competed at the very, very top of college football. So it's big for Virginia Tech to be at that number 3 spot, and crucial time, too, with the new head football coach and some other stuff that may be coming, too. So Hokies will be number 3 in the ACC.
Gotcha. Do you think that puts us in a position to compete with those top teams?
Yeah, if the right people are in place, 100%. That $229 million, Virginia Tech, you're paying Brent Pry around $4 million. Hokies probably could have gone a little bit higher than that prior to his firing. With the results on the field, I don't know if you were going to, but my point is now Virginia Tech would be able to pay a football coach probably between $7-8 million, if not more. That would be amongst the highest in the ACC, only behind Florida State, Clemson, and can you take your guess?
Florida State, Clemson, and Miami.
North Carolina.
North Carolina.
And they only did that because it was Bill Belichick, and that's not working out so well for him.
Not
So
working well for
Virginia
them.
Tech will probably be able to pay a coach in the top third of the league in college football, and if you can do that, you're going to be able to attract some really attractive candidates for sure.
Is this just for football, or is it all the sports?
No, all the sports will be able to benefit from this, and obviously it's a different era with rev sharing and NIL, and football is going to take precedent, and then behind that you'll have men's basketball, women's basketball, baseball, softball will get some of that too, but yes, this will affect all sports. But yeah, football would definitely be the precedent for sure.
Gotcha.
Is this also with NIL? Like, does it involve, or like, is NIL separate from this?
Yes.
It is separate from this, so no money from
Correct.
the 40 or whatever million goes
Correct.
into.
The NIL pot is separate from Virginia Tech, and it comes from third-party affiliates. So yeah, so you have the NIL budget, which arguably has been pretty good at Virginia Tech over the last couple of years. You look at the roster Virginia Tech football trotted out there last year, multiple guys in the NFL, multiple guys now starting in the SEC.
Right.
So you're going to have that still remaining here. Rev sharing is going to be a factor now, and the Hokies budget is going to be, again, top 3 in the ACC. So they're in a good spot now if they can get the right people in place for sure.
If they can get the right people in place, how likely do you think that is?
That is the question that the entire fan base wants answered. I think, obviously, when you can pay a football coach $7-8 million, you're going to be able to attract a pretty solid candidate. There are some names out there that people want to lure to Blacksburg where if you can throw that type of money their way, they're probably going to be attracted to Virginia Tech. Now, it is a little bit of a different era, too, in the sense of current director of athletics is not hiring the football coach. There's a search committee. There's going to be 8 people, 3 former football players, I should say, and then 5 business people that are on that search committee that are essentially going to hire the next football coach at Virginia Tech. So that's where it gets a little bit tricky.
Okay.
Nobody knows where that's going to go. I mean, an 8-person search committee is a little bit, I don't want to say much, but it is a lot of people. So, yeah, we'll see. But, yeah, they definitely have the right pieces in place. It now is about making the hire correct and making sure you make the correct hire to bring him to Blacksburg for sure.
Of course.
Of course. So now let's hear from Virginia Tech student Ryan Ames on what he thinks about the new athletics budget. How do you feel about the new budget that's being placed, and how do you think it's going to affect just overall our athletics program?
So I was following with the Tech athletic budget for a while, and I do really love the plan. I think it's going to be great for our athletics department, but I am mainly concerned about one particular thing, and that is that it's projecting $30 million per year from philanthropy. I don't know where we're getting that money from because we don't have a lot of, like one would say, really rich alumni that would throw out donations like UVA has with their $5 million donation even just last semester. I think overall that's going to be the main issue with it. I do like the rest of the plan, though, for maybe raising a little bit of student fees, getting a little bit from direct student funding, stuff like that. I do think that it's going to incredibly positively affect our athletic budget, specifically in the hiring of a football head coach As many of you probably know, Brent Pry was fired. And I'm telling you, a few $1 million can make all the difference in the head coaching market. It's probably the difference between getting another person like Brent Pry or getting someone like the current head coach of Tulane, John Sumrall. That few $1 million can make all the difference. Yeah.
What do you think about what he said? You know, the philanthropy is obviously going to be a big part of it.
Yeah.
And then he's looking at what head coaches we can get.
Yeah, so from a philanthropy standpoint, Virginia Tech is going to have to raise an additional $30 million. 15, they're hoping that comes through the Hokie Club and the athletic department. Now we'll see if they can do that. Virginia Tech has been able to attract a nice amount of monetary value throughout the Hokie Club over the years. So I do think they can get that amount of money. And again, it goes back to that coaching candidates. We just talked about it a minute ago. And since he had mentioned it, he mentioned James Franklin of Penn State. I don't know if that's really a fit for Virginia Tech. I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility, but he's somebody that you would probably have to pay $7-8 million because there's other schools around the country that probably want his services. You also mentioned John Sumrall at Tulane, who's also going to get a lot of attention. He's probably in that $7-8 million range, which again, Virginia Tech can likely do that. So those are two guys that are maybe on that list. Remind me, who else did he mention on there that we were talking about just a minute ago?
Those were the main two,
Yeah.
but overall, you know, the lingering question is, at the end of the day, will a higher budget bring in a talented head coach?
It should. I mean, again, as long as the right people are in place, money can attract a lot. And if you're paying a head football coach $4 million, not saying that Brent Pry deserved more money, but if you're paying a head football coach $4 million in today's day and age, that's a little bit of a tough sell. So yeah, 7-8, especially with the cycle we're seeing. Penn State's open now. Florida's probably going to open. Florida State might open. Wisconsin's going to open eventually. There's going to be a lot of high-profile jobs open in college football. Virginia Tech's not in a bad spot. And with what they can offer these head coaching candidates, they should be able to attract a nice candidate for
Any
sure.
chance if South Carolina fires Shane?
No.
No? No chance on that
No
one.
shot.
No. Arkansas is open too. Shout out Jared Woolley back there.
True.
Arkansas is open.
Arkansas
We
is
picked
open, too.
So, yeah.
And so coming back to Penn State's head coach, and then you've got Tulane's head coach.
Yeah.
What are your feelings towards bringing either of those guys on?
James Franklin's interesting. He's been able to recruit Virginia extremely well. Not that that's the number one thing in today's day and age, but he's been able to do that well. And when you look at his results, I get why Penn State moved on from him. But would you take 10-2 at Virginia Tech every single year? Not saying he would do that at Virginia Tech every single year, but I think you have to look at James Franklin. I think some other schools will look at him too, but I think you got to give him a call. John Sumrall at Tulane, somebody a lot of people like too, that's at the Group of 5 level. Dan Mullen is somebody that's at UNLV that's winning there right now, who won at Mississippi State and then won at Florida before he kind of flamed out late in the process. So Manny Diaz at Duke too is interesting. He kind of got railroaded at Miami and then was the defensive coordinator actually at Penn State and then is winning now at Duke. So those are the ones to watch for me. And with Virginia Tech, with its budget positioning, I think you could reel one of those guys in for sure.
Okay, and what about recruiting in Virginia? Because I know that was a problem too when
Yeah.
Brent Pry was on board.
Yeah, I mean, I think in today's day and age, recruiting, though it is still important, you're looking at the portal as something that you're probably going to explore more into than the high school recruiting.
Got it.
Because in reality, like you're going to bring in 20 recruits, maybe 5 of them work out, and probably 10 of the other 15 are going to leave by the end of their freshman year.
Okay.
So I think the recruiting side of things is interesting, but if you're Virginia Tech, I don't think that's the number one thing you prioritize because, again, Brent Pry did an okay job of that at Virginia Tech. That didn't get them results. So,
Okay.
yeah, I think it's something to consider, but definitely not number one priority.
Right. All right. Well, top of the ACC. You hear it here first. That's all the time we have for today. Thank you for joining us, my
Yeah.
man Carter, and have a good day, Hokies.